It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Colorado Rockies. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Sunday to you, wherever you may be. Final meeting of the year with the Rockies. Dodgers have won 9 of the 17. They split with Colorado last year. It'll be Josh Beckett on the mound for the Dodgers and Jorge De La Rosa on the mound for Colorado. Incentive is the word, a positive incentive for the Dodgers. They're down by 2 with 4 left, trying to catch the Cardinals. The incentive for the Rockies, not to lose 100 games. They've already lost 96, most lost since Colorado history. But, of course, the Dodgers can tell them all about that. Back in 1992, the Dodgers lost 99 games. So both clubs up for the big game, especially the Dodgers on Fan Appreciation Day. We'll have the game and a whole lot more coming up right after this. Dodger Baseball is brought to you by Hyundai. Logic and emotion agree. The Hyundai Sonata is amazing. Visit your Southern California Hyundai dealer today. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax.
Temperatures in the mid-90s in downtown Los Angeles and continues to climb, as do the Dodgers in the standings. 2 games back of St. Louis in the wild card as we begin play. Our Hyundai key to the game, as it always is. It's all about Matt Kemp, big hitter, the Loma. Last night, 461 in the 4th inning, and he came back in the 8th and went opposite field.
Yeah, they hung a breaking ball in his face, and then they tried to throw a cutter away from him. Neither one of those things worked. When he's right, he is the best player in the game. We knew that. We knew it from last year. He's been banged up all season this year. A bunch of guys in that offense are starting to play good baseball. I said it last night and I'll say it again. It's an uphill climb here. There's still 2 games back. If they get into the playoffs, there's not a team in baseball that wants to play the Dodgers right now. They are the most dangerous team in the game if they can get there.
We know what Matt Kemp does for the Dodgers offense. We certainly know how he affects the opposing pitcher. Well, what is his effect on the rest of the Dodger lineup?
Well, when he's hitting the ball well, you have to worry about him all the time, which means that you lose your concentration against other guys in the lineup because he's always in the back of your mind. Even if he's not hitting for 5 more slots, you start worrying about, oh, man, if I let this guy go on and this guy gets a hit, then I'm looking at Matt Kemp. You've got to make sure that you get other guys out in front of him because he's not only so good with the bat in his hands, he makes you better too.
When Matt Kemp's in the starting lineup, the Dodgers are 13 games over 500. They need this one today. See you after.
Get the All-American Jack Combo for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. By San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino. Play $250,000 Sports Watch football at San Manuel. It's free to play. And by 76 Gas. We're on the driver's side. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Sunday to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to Fan Appreciation Day here at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers appreciating the loyalty of their fans day in and day out. And the final Sunday of every year at home is always a big day, and all of us enjoy having all the good folks here. Meanwhile, the Dodgers have a lot of business at hand. First of all, as they take the field, they know that the Cardinals are enjoying a 9-4 lead, and that's against the Washington Nationals. Bryce Harper hit his 22nd home run, but Carlos Beltran has hit 2 to give him 32. Pete Kozma has knocked in 3, but the biggest play was an error on what appeared to be a cinch double play ball to second baseman Danny Espinosa, and that led to 4 unearned runs for the Cardinals. Meanwhile, the Dodgers have their hands full with the Rockies, and we'll take a look at Jim Tracy's card. Josh Rutledge at shortstop, making his major league debut. He's been playing in Modesta, and Rafael Ortega will be in center field. Jordan Pacheco, who's played first, will be behind the plate. Andrew Brown, who has been playing left field, is in right. Chris Nelson at third. Charlie Blackmon, who played center field last night, is back into left. Matt McBride, who was the right fielder, is playing first. DJ LeMahieu is the second baseman. Jorge De La Rosa on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Josh Beckett. He is 1-3 as a Dodger. He has a fine earned run average as a Dodger, 3.1. 0-1 this year against Colorado, 4-2 lifetime. And when you talk about Colorado, you have to understand the Rockies have been absolutely decimated by injuries. I mean, they lost Todd Helton to hip surgery. Then they lost Troy Tulowitzki to a severe groin. Then they lost Carlos Gonzalez, the outfielder, known as Cargo, with a hamstring pull. They lost their center fielder, Dexter Fowler, tendonitis of the wrist. So they were so desperate, Tyler Colvin, who figures to be their center fielder, has a swollen elbow. Jason Giambi has been sick. He's lost 40 years. So what happened is last night, when Jim Tracy was looking for someone healthy to go up and pinch hit, the only man who can do it was Jonathan Herrera, who struck out. So Beckett's first pitch in for a strike to Rutledge, and the count 0-1. So Josh Beckett, responsible for keeping the Dodgers alive. There's nothing he or the Dodgers can do about the Cardinals. And the strike one pitch swung on and missed, 0-2. It is 95 degrees here on the very first pitch, so it certainly is on the warm side, and they say it'll get even a little hotter. Not a breath of air stirring. And the strike two pitch, Rutledge fouls it back. Young Josh hitting .286. He has 8 home runs, 36 runs batted in. He's from Cullman, Alabama, went to the university, and he was an All-State at Alabama both years, sophomore and junior. And the strike two pitch on the way is taken in the dirt. Ball 1-2. So Josh Rutledge, he'll be followed by Rafael Ortega, who'll be making his major league debut, and then Jordan Pacheco. Ortega played at Modesto this year. Off-speed pitch is in there. Strike three call. The last pitch that Rutledge was expecting, and a change gets him for a strikeout. There's another problem for Colorado. Because of all the injuries, they've not really been able to replace them with pure major league players. There are a lot of very fine young players who will develop, but right now the Rockies, to put it kindly and mildly, are in the developing stage. And here's a kid who was at Modesto and makes his debut, Rafael Ortega. He's from El Tigre, the Tiger in Venezuela. Rafael Ortega, left-hand batter. And in his debut, Beckett ready and comes back. It's fouled away. And the count 1-1. Rafael Ortega facing Josh Beckett. Ortega, 21 years old, 5'11", about 160. Left-hand batter, right-hand thrower. Been in the pros for 4 years. Swings a little roller wide at first. Gonzalez went way up the line to get it, and actually I think it was a poor decision by Adrian. I have always felt, and I've certainly had it confirmed by other first basemen, the toughest play a first baseman has is when to go after the ball and when to stay at the bag. If he stays at the bag, that's an easy play for a second baseman. Instead, Beckett couldn't get to the bag. So Ortega will get an infield single thanks to the straying of Adrian Gonzalez. And welcome to the big leagues, Rafael Ortega with a squib single. The batter now is Jordan Pacheco. He's been playing first base, and he's behind the plate. One reason, Willen Rosario had a rough night last night. 0 for 4, struck out 3 times. Throw to first, Ortega diving back. One thing we know about Ortega in the minors, he stole a lot of bases. Stole as many as 39. This year he stole 36. So they might run him. With 1 out, first inning, no score. Beckett at the belt, looks over at first. There he goes, sure enough. The pitch, a strike, a high throw off the glove of a leaping Hanley Ramirez. So Ortega gets a base hit because Gonzalez went too far, and now steals second base. good idea they would run him, of course. The Rockies have nothing to lose except their 97th game. So with Ortega at second base and one down, Pacheco up there, no balls and one strike. Giants will be here starting tomorrow night, and no matter what happens today, the game is still on for tomorrow. In other words, even if the Cardinals win and the Dodgers should lose, it'd still be one game left. 0-1 the count. Beckett looks back at Ortega. Now right-handed delivers, and there's a high fly ball, very playable. Under it is Matt Kemp waiting, makes the catch. Ortega holding, and Matt a one-hopper right on the money to Cruz. So Pacheco a fly ball, two down, and Andrew Brown coming up. Andrew Brown last night 1 for 3, 0 for 1 with a couple of walks in the first game. Hitting in the 240s with 4 home runs, 10 runs batted in. Remember, the Rockies have been shut out back-to-back games. They also failed to score the last 5 innings of the previous game with the Cubs before they came here. So they've gone 23 and 2/3 innings without a run. Beckett, another look back at Ortega. Josh, very deliberate, comes to his hitter and gets it in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. Tomorrow night, when the Giants come here, Matt Cain will go up against Aaron Harang. 0-1 the count. Ortega at second can take a generous lead because Ramirez out on the rim, and the same story for Mark Ellis. Strike one pitch on the way. Beckett delivers. That's swung on and fouled away, and the count 0-2. So Josh Beckett with a big assignment, but he's had plenty of big assignments before. He's won 131 games in his career. He won 20 games in 2007, won 17 games in 2009. So he's been through the wars. Josh looks down, the veteran at 32, trying to get out of the inning here with Ortega at second and 2 out. Josh very deliberate. In fact, so deliberate, Brown backs out. Josh Beckett is 32 years old, from Austin, Texas, now lives in Spring, Texas. Big man at 6'5", 225, and originally a first-round pick by the Marlins. Josh at the belt, and the strike 2 pitch is taken high. 1-2 the count. So Beckett given a huge responsibility. Dodgers well aware of the fact that the Cardinals have a very comfortable lead, and it's up to Beckett to get a win. Josh again very deliberate, set at the belt. Another look back at Ortega, just staring at him, still looking at him. Now ready and comes to the plate, and it's foul back. So 1-2 the count. Andrew Brown with Chris Nelson, the third baseman, on deck. Once upon a time, Josh Beckett's fastball, the four-seamer, was actually clocked at about 100 miles an hour. That was a while ago. He still has a good two-seamer, and he has the curveball and the changeup. Ortega taking his lead at second, 2 out. The 1-2 pitch to Andrew Brown, right-hand hitting outfielder. Beckett deals, and it's low and inside, and the count runs 2 balls and 2 strikes. Andrew Brown has only struck out 27 times, but then again, he hasn't had 100 at-bats. Only been in 40 some odd games, which pretty much sums up the state of condition for the Rockies. 2-2 the count. Beckett again, same routine, very sad, very deliberate. Long look at Ortega. A long look at Ortega. Now the pitch to Andrew Brown. Slow curveball. Strike 3 called. Oh, what a pitch. It was like the straight change he threw to Rutledge, only this was a big bender, and the Rockies go down, and at the end of half an inning, no score. Rafael Ortega at second base. We'll take a look now at Don Mattingly's card. Mark Ellis returns at second base. Then you have Shane Victorino in left, followed by Matt Kemp, Adrian Gonzalez, Hanley Ramirez, Luis Cruz, who came out of last night's game with a headache. We'll tell you more about that later on, but he's okay and playing third base. Andre Ethier in right, A.J. Ellis the catcher, Josh Beckett on the mound. On the mound and very happy to be there, Jorge De La Rosa. De La Rosa had Tommy John surgery in May of last year, and by the time he got to this year's All-Star game, he was doing very well and suddenly had a flare-up in his rehab. So that really set him back, so that he's only made 2 previous starts, 0-1, and an earned run average out of sight. But again, he was just coming back. Now, he knows how to pitch. In 2009, De La Rosa was pretty much the ace of the Rockies staff, and he won 16 games to prove it. So we'll see how he goes now as the left-hander ready to face Ellis, Victorino, and Kemp. No score, first inning. The left-hander rocks, turns, hesitates, and then delivers. And the first pitch in for a strike, 0-1. Mark Ellis checking in at 261, 7 home runs, 31 runs batted in. Boy, that is a bright, almost a yellow glove used by Ortega. And the next pitch hit in the air to left center, moving over and making the catch is Ortega. So the kid just up from Modesto has already had a base hit. He had a stolen base. Now he makes a putout, and the batter is Shane Victorino. Nancy B serenading Jorge De La Rosa when he went to the mound with "It Happened in Monterrey." And for De La Rosa, he was born in Monterrey. He now lives in Nuevo Leon. Originally signed by the Arizona Diamondbacks, he's 31 years old. 6'1", 210. And the left-hander working now on Victorino, who turns to bat right-handed. And the first pitch a little low, ball 1, 1-0. Victorino, as he climbs in, hitting .250, 11 home runs, 55 runs batted in. Waiting on deck, Matt Kemp. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's looked like a change, low and away on the outside part of the plate. And the count, 2 balls and no strikes. So Matt Kemp, who hit 2 last night, 1 5 rows from the top in left field, and the other over the right field scoreboard. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way. Victorino takes the strike, and the count 2-1. Interesting that, and it's inside baseball, why De La Rosa signed by the Diamondbacks, and then suddenly there was a work stoppage between Arizona and the Mexican League. Foul ball out of play. So the agreement with Monterrey went down the drain. Monterrey pulled him back. Now his bid, and it was wide open. The Boston Red Sox and the Braves, the Dodgers, the Giants, the Yankees, they were all after him. And Boston actually had the top bid. De La Rosa ready, and the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball hit up the middle and through into center field, base hit. So Shane Victorino, a ground ball single to center, and here comes Matt Kemp. One of the great athletes in American history certainly would be Joe Louis. Joseph Louis Barrow by name. And he was the heavyweight champion of the world, and he was an incredible athlete and fighter. And he had the name the Brown Bomber. I never thought about it until watching Matt Kemp last night hit one so far up into the left field pavilion, and then next time up, hit one into the right field pavilion. Throw to first, Victorino back on the bag. So if ever a guy deserved that nickname, it certainly would be Matt Kemp. He is the Brown Bomber. 4 years in a row now, he's hit 20 or more, and he has 22 as he checks in right now with 67 runs batted in. Left-handed goes over to first again. Victorino, of course, an acknowledged base stealer. He has stolen 38. De La Rosa working on Kemp. Matt has done exceptionally well, and especially against left-hand pitching. Kemp hitting .376 against left-handers. Takes an off-speed pitch in for a strike. Of his 22 home runs, 10 have been hit against left-handers. So De La Rosa trying to throw a lot of off-speed stuff and get by with it. Prior to the operation, he was another fellow who threw hard. Back in 2009, when De La Rosa had 16 victories, his fastball was clocked as high as 97. Right now, wouldn't be anywhere close to that, but he has a mean slider, curveball, he has a cutter, and of course the changeup. A bluff by Victorino, and the pitch up and in on a check swing. Kemp just did hold up. Tony Randazzo, the first base umpire, indicating no swing. 1-1 the count to Matt. We're in the bottom of the first inning, no score. We are just starting. The Dodgers are 13-12 in the month of September. It has certainly taken them a while to get going again. The pitch to Kemp is swung on and fouled away. For the Dodgers, as they stand in trying to win their 84th game, they've won 4 straight, the last 2 in San Diego and the first 2 here against the Rockies. Dodgers are 7 games above 500 at home. St. Louis 17 games, and they are home for the stretch. Playing Washington today, and then the Cincinnati Reds to close out the year. 1-2 pitch on the way, again up and in. That might have been a cutter, and a 2-ball 2-strike count. So Kemp in and out of the box. Adrian Gonzalez on deck. No score in the first inning. Jorge looks down the barrel, getting a sign from Jordan Pacheco. Now the left-hander ready. 2-2 pitch is swung on, hit in the air to left field. Very playable. Out there waiting for it is Charlie Blackmon. So Kemp a fly ball. 2 down, and Adrian Gonzalez coming up.
Number 23, Adrian Gonzalez.
Adrian Gonzalez hitting .320 against left-hand pitching. He has really found his stroke. We were talking about the fact that he feels, and it started in San Diego when he suddenly said, now my hands are in the right spot. Well, he's hit in 11 straight, 3 for 8 in this series with a double and a run scored. So we'll see about Victorino with 2 out, whether he tries to go. Jorge bluffs a throw and straddles the rubber. The old idea with 2 out, Victorino can go. If you get him, the inning is over, and then you start next inning with Adrian Gonzalez. So you're not in a bad spot, one way or the other. De La Rosa, left foot on the rubber, now set, and another throw over to first base. That glove, and maybe it's not nearly as obvious down when you're at the batter's box. When you're sitting up here, it looks like a neon glove. It really is a distraction up here. Obviously, he's allowed to use it, or the umpires would have been all over him. So the veteran left-hander has Victorino picked off, and the throw is too high. If that had been a low throw to first, Victorino would have been picked off. So immediately everybody says, oh yeah, that's right, De La Rosa has a very good move. Shane hesitated and then got underneath the high tag. That's about as close as you're going to get without being picked off. De La Rosa, another look and another throw to first. De La Rosa has been around. He was a professional back in 1999. Spent a lot of time in the minor leagues. And when he first came up, he came up with the Brewers 8 years ago. Jorge ready. There goes Victorino. The pitch is high. The throw is low, and he's stolen it. For Pacheco, who has been playing first base, he got a good pitch. but he made a low throw, no doubt from the fact he hadn't been catching. So it was a short hopper to Rutledge, and by that time, Victorino had stolen his 39th. So now Gonzalez trying to pick him up. It figured they would run Victorino, and they did, although he was almost picked off. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 out, first inning, no score. De La Rosa delivers, and it's foul back. 1-1 to count. De La Rosa, working against Adrian Gonzalez, is very much the veteran. Spent some years with the Brewers, then he went to the Royals. Then he's been up and down with the Rockies. Then he had the arm surgery, and now he's back. Jorge ready. The 1-1 pitch to Adrian is swung on and missed. Looked like he tried to uppercut a pitch up around the letters, and the count 1-2. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Dodgers and Rockies, their final meeting of the year. Rockies might be in last place, but they have played the Dodgers tough, especially when they were really the Rockies. When they had Heldon and Tulowitzki and Carlos Gonzalez and Dexter Fowler and all those who are long out of the lineup. Victorino to third. The pitch is swung on and missed, and that's the inning. So Victorino had third base stolen, but Gonzalez strikes out. No runs, 1 hit, a man left, and at the end of an inning, no score. And then Matt McBride playing first base. Josh Beckett gave up an infield single, but that was all in the first. Josh ready to go to work and starts it low and away to Nelson. Chris hitting .301. He's had a wonderful month of September. 37 hits in the month. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. A chopper to short. Up with it. Ramirez makes the play. And we have one down. Well, we have a moment. We want to salute a favorite friend of ours. That would be James Mims, who does such a great job running the press box here at Dodger Stadium. James and his bride, Betty, they are celebrating their 55th wedding anniversary today. So much love and heartiest congratulations to them both. We also have a birthday boy in Dodger uniform today. Kenley Jansen is 25 years old today. Now the batter is Charlie Blockman. Left-hand batter takes ball 1. Charlie played center last night and hooked a double into right field. Charlie batting .271, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, hadn't played much. And the left-hand hitter takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. We'll check and see if there's anything new in the Cardinal game. They were breezing first 7-0, then 7-4. Then the last time we checked, 9-4 around the bottom of the 5th inning. The pitch pulled foul into the chairs down the right field line. 1-2. Cardinals are still leading Washington 9-4, and they're now in the bottom of the 6th inning. If the Cardinals win, the so-called magic number is reduced to 2. Should the Dodgers lose, the number would be down to 1. Dodgers trying to keep it at 2 and then play the Giants tomorrow. The 1-2 pitch on the way, and that's high and away, 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2nd inning, no score. Josh Beckett, both feet on the rubber. Matt Kemp shading a tad towards left center, not overly committed. Blackman waiting, and Charlie takes away, and the count goes 3-2. Josh Beckett, going way back to when he was a small boy in Texas, always envisioned that he would play Major League Baseball. Undeterred, always. 3-2 pitch is high, ball 4. So the 1-out walk to Charlie Blackman will bring up Matt McBride.
Number 7, Matt McBride.
Matt McBride playing first base today. McBride played right field in the first 2 games. McBride 0 for 6 with the bat. He made a magnificent catch of a ball hit by Hanley Ramirez in game 1, crashing into the right center field pads, and didn't take a home run away, but he certainly took what would have been an extra base hit. So with 1 out, McBride waiting. Beckett works a fastball in for a strike, and the count 0-1 to Matt McBride. Matt McBride out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, went to Lehigh University. He can play first, he's caught, and he can play the outfield. Matt's 27 years old. Quick throw to first, diving back to the bag is Charlie Blackman. Blackman has stolen 1 base. But of course, as we mentioned, the regulars, at least half of them, unable to play for Colorado. No balls and 1 strike to count to Matt McBride. Beckett, so deliberate, just staring in. Of course, Josh realizes the importance of the game and the importance of every pitch. So he's in no hurry. Still set, turns, throws. Had that been a low throw, it would have been very close because Charlie Blackman was leaning. For Jim Tracy, of course, running out the string, he would love to knock off the Dodgers. More than that, he would love to score a run. They've gone 23 1/3 without scoring a run. Rockies also would like to snap a 2-game losing streak. Strike 1 pitch on the way. Beckett delivers, and it is waved at and missed, in the count 0-2. Another thing as an incentive for the Rockies. Last year, the Rockies split the 18 games with the Dodgers. And with a decimated team this year, a lot of youngsters in the lineup, if they beat the Dodgers today, they will have split the 18 again. So Tracy looking for anything at all on the positive side. The pitch of the plate down and away, 1-2 the count. When the Rockies leave here, they'll go to Arizona, and that'll be that. As we mentioned earlier, and we're not trying to give them a bad time, but this Rockies team, which is not the Rockies team we've been looking at for years, but this club could lose their 97th, and there's the pickoff throw to get Blackman. The previous throw, had it been down, Gonzalez would have gotten him. This time Beckett does get it down. Gonzalez pins him, and Blackman is picked off. Got him on the hands as he was diving back to the bag. So 2 down here in the 2nd inning, and Matt McBride the batter. 1 ball and 2 strikes they count to Matt, the lad from Lehigh. And the 1-2 pitch on the way, lifted off first base, slicing towards the stands, and back into the crowd. 95 degrees when the game started. Might be even a little bit hotter now. Anybody listening in the ballpark on the radio, don't forget plenty of water, sunblock, and wear a hat. For Beckett, he does not have a lot of pickoffs in his career, and he's had a long career. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swung on, high fly ball, routine to left field. Victorino is there, makes a two-handed catch, flips the ball to Matt Kemp, and they come in together. And at the end of an inning and a half, no score. Hanley Ramirez, followed by Luis Cruz, and then Andre Ethier. Jorge De La Rosa, in his third start since coming back from Tommy John surgery. Hanley Ramirez had a big night last night. Ramirez not only had 3 hits, he had 2 stolen bases, so he has done it again. That is making sizable contributions. 5 years. He's had at least 20 home runs and 20 stolen bases. 5 times. So Hanley checks in. De La Rosa delivers, and it's foul back, 0-1. In his long and traveled career, and we're looking now at De La Rosa, he did pitch in the Mexican League for Hermosillo and his teammates in 2001 and 2002, Fernando Valenzuela. The strike one pitch on the way. Jorge deals, hit in the air to right field, very playable. Andrew Brown is right there. So 1 away in the second inning, no score. Luis Cruz coming up. You know, next year's schedule is now available, highlighted by opening day with the Giants, great interleague opponents, Yankees, Red Sox, and Angels, and new season tickets next year start at $6. So to place a deposit for next year, call 323-224-1365 or Dodgers.com/season tickets. Luis Cruz hitting .302. He told you and promised you about the headache. De La Rosa delivers, fastball strike. Before the game last night, Cruz was hitting in the batting cage, and he fouled a ball back into the batting cage, and it hit the piping on the cage, came right back and hit him in the back of the head. He fouls a pitch away. It shook him up a little bit, but he was going to play anyway, realizing the importance of the game. And Cruz went 0 for 3 with the headache. And then at the very end of the game, they rearranged the infield, and we checked down, find out that he had the headache, and then today we found out how the headache happened. He takes off the plate, 1-2 the count to Luis Cruz. No score, second inning. Cardinals are romping 9-4 in the seventh over Washington. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. Lifted back at first base and down the line. Slanting over is LeMahieu, the second baseman, and he puts it away for the second out. 2 down. And Andre Ethier coming up. Andre Ethier, despite his problems against left-handers in that lineup, they need him every day. And of course, Andre brings a lot to the dance. I mean, not only a fine hitter, but a very good defensive player with an excellent arm. Ethier struggling, hitting .220 against left-handers, .324 against right-handers. De La Rosa ready. Jorge delivers, and the first pitch down and away. Ball 1, 1-0. Just to look back in the books, De La Rosa and Ethier. Ethier's hitting .091 against him. De La Rosa feet together in the middle of the rubber. Now turns, hesitates, comes back with a strike, and they count 1-1. That hesitation you would find with every Japanese pitcher you have ever seen. And De La Rosa, when he lifts up that right leg, he just pauses pretty much to collect himself. And the 1-1 pitch on the way is hit in the air to straightaway center. On the other end of it, Rafael Ortega fighting the sun, but makes the catch. So the Dodgers tiptoe through the second inning. And at the end of 2, no score. I hope you'll be out here to join us. Go to Dodgers.com/tickets for more information. Final 3 games as the Dodgers try desperately to keep their heads above water. And you know the Giants would love nothing more than to push them under. Josh Beckett, meanwhile, working to DJ LeMahieu, then De La Rosa, and Rutledge, the shortstop. So Josh Beckett allowed the infield single to Ortega when Adrian Gonzalez strayed way too far to go after a ground ball. And then he walked Blackman in the second inning, but then he picked him off. First pitch in for a strike. By the way, in Josh Beckett's long career, when he picked off Blackman, that was only the 4th pickoff in his career. Strike 1 pitch, a hopper to third, knocked down, backhanded by Cruz, guns him out. So LeMahieu, the big second baseman, taps to third, 1 out. And the batter will be Jorge De La Rosa. So De La Rosa slowly checking in at the plate. The man from Monterrey and Nuevo Leon. 1 for 3. Not a bad hitting pitcher in his long career to have a batting average, hitting 150. We told you that he was signed by Arizona, but he never pitched for the D-backs. He was with the Boston Red Sox and was involved in the Kurt Schilling deal. And then they thought he would pitch for Arizona, and that didn't happen. 3 days after the Schilling trade, the Brewers traded for him. That was a big deal that involved, among others, the home run hitter Richie Sexson. So Jorge De La Rosa, he's been with the Rockies since 2008. 0-2 the count. Beckett into the windup, delivers, and it's fouled away off to the left. No balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, 3rd inning. Rockies looking for a run. Remember, they haven't scored in a while. 25 and a 3rd innings without a run. Josh Rutledge waiting on deck. And the strike 2 pitch coming up. Beckett delivers a comebacker, but it gets away from him. Charging is Ramirez, but no play. So De La Rosa winds up with a base hit. Comebacker that gets off the glove of Josh Beckett, and the batter will be Josh Rutledge. So that's the second hit of Beckett. Rutledge struck out in the 1st inning, caught looking at an off-speed pitch. Rutledge, born in Birmingham, lives in Cullman, Alabama, went to the university. Right-hand hitter and takes high, ball 1. 1-0 to Josh. In watching Rutledge, he does look like a very professional major league shortstop. He's only played a few games for the Rockies. The 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled away. And he's doing okay with the bat, hitting .285. But then again, all the while, you're looking at shortstop Troy Tulowitzki. So we'll see. So Josh, an All-American at Alabama. Next pitch to him is swung on. That's slapped to the gap in right center. It is going to drop and go to the track. Ethier picks it up. They're not going to run De La Rosa, so they'll stop him at 3rd. So Rutledge, a long double to the gap in right center. And thanks to the comebacker that got away, the Rockies have runners at 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. And the rookie, Rafael Ortega, coming up. So Ortega, who hit a ground ball wide of first, it would have been an easy play for Mark Ellis. Adrian Gonzalez, however, made that decision to go wild and then hated that he did. But as we mentioned, that's probably the toughest play a first baseman has to make. So Ortega at the plate. Left-hand batter. Infield plays up. Beckett's first pitch, fastball, and that's fouled away off to the right out of play. 0-1 to count to Rafael Ortega. He spent all year playing at Modesto. At Modesto, he hit .283. The one number that stands out, he stole 36 bases, and sure enough, when he got aboard in the 1st inning, he stole 2nd. Beckett set with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Strike 1 pitch, and that's high. 1-1 to count. And looking at Ortega, he struck out 93 times in well over 500 plate appearances. So certainly at Modesto, he was a contact hitter. 1-1. Beckett ready, back very high, ball 2. We can bring you up to date. The Cardinals are still leading Washington by the same score, 9-4, and they're now in the top of the 8th. Remember, if the Cardinals win, the so-called magic number now drops to 2. 2 balls and 1 strike the count to Rafael Ortega. The next pitch to him is slapped down the left field line. Foul ball. Foul maybe by a foot. So Ortega will come back and try it again. Just fouled. Otherwise, that has scored 2 runs. So Ortega with a 2-2 count checking in from El Tigre, the Tiger in Venezuela. Young Rafael back up at the plate. Beckett trying to get him with 1 out and runners at second and third. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Ortega swings and fouls it back. In looking at Ortega, he's had 8 home runs, 9 home runs in Asheville, 7 home runs in Casper in the Pioneer League. So he's certainly not a home run hitter, but he's right down on the knob. 2-2 the count. Beckett set. Veteran ready. Here he comes 2-2, and the breaking ball in the dirt. Nice block by A.J. Ellis. And the count 3-2. Ellis going out now to talk to Beckett. With a runner at third, as we always do, we look it up. Beckett had 4 wild pitches in the American League, and he's had 1 wild pitch as a Dodger. Ramirez comes in. Gonzalez comes in to talk to Beckett after A.J. Ellis leaves. 3-2 the count to Rafael Ortega. Mark Ellis plays him on the rim and way over to his right. The outfield shaded a tad towards left. Beckett set. Checks the runners at second and third. Ortega takes high. Ball 4. So Beckett all of a sudden in trouble with 1 out. He couldn't handle the ball by De La Rosa for a base hit. Then he gave up the double to Rutledge. Now the walk to Ortega. Bases loaded, 1 out, and Jordan Pacheco coming up. Pacheco, who's been playing first base, catching today. Couple of things about Pacheco. He normally doesn't hang around the plate that much. He might swing even first pitch. He takes a little high. Ball 1. Pacheco certainly a contact hitter. In looking at Jordan's numbers, he has struck out only 58 times, and he's had over 500 plate appearances. So a tough man up there. The Dodger infield goes back in double play depth. The 1-0 pitch on the way is taken for a strike, and the count 1-1. Jordan Pacheco was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He went to the University of New Mexico. Rocky signed him 5 years ago. They really like his bat. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way, and Pacheco swings, doesn't get it. 1-2. One of the things the scout said about Pacheco, talking about how he stays inside the ball, which really means he can wait a little longer before making a decision, ball, strike, fastball, breaking ball, whether he's going to swing or not. And it's paid off so far in the fact he's made so much contact. But Beckett trying to put him away. The 1-2 pitch of the right-hand batter. Beckett ready. Here he comes, and it's punched on the ground. Nice pick by Ellis for 1. Back to first. Double play. Oh, what a nice play by Mark Ellis. He not only took a base hit away from Pacheco, they started the double play, and Ramirez got rid of it quickly, and at the end of 2.5 innings, no score.
Tonight's game brought to you by Miller Lite.
Bottom of the third inning, no score in the ball game. The Dodgers just did wiggle off the hook in the third inning. For Beckett, he's now made 50 pitches in 3 innings in 95-degree heat, at least 95. And that was a marvelous pick by Mark Ellis. That was a base hit heading to right field. Ellis got his glove on it and started the double play. And I'm sure if you're a kid like Rafael Ortega in your first big league game, you say to yourself, wow, now I know I'm in the big leagues. A.J. Ellis knows he's in the big leagues. He also has a 5-game hitting streak. And just as important and more so for A.J., the fact that he received the highly coveted Roy Campanella Award, voted by his teammates. Campy, of course, not only an inspirational player, but a solid fixture, which is exactly A.J.'s role. He takes a strike in the count 0-1. Little 5-game hitting streak. For A.J., following Campanella, he's now in 129 games. De La Rosa ready, and the strike 1 pitch on the way. Flips it inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to A.J. You may remember earlier in the year, A.J. had a streak where he reached base safely 28 straight, either by base hit or walk. The 1-1 pitch on the way is taken low. 2-1 to count. No score, bottom of the third. For the Rockies, that is really frustrating. They've now gone 26 consecutive scoreless innings. 2-1 to Ellis, with Josh Beckett to follow. The next pitch is low, down and dirty, in fact. 3-1 to count to A.J. Ellis. Jorge De La Rosa, coming back from Tommy John surgery. One of the few pitchers that we have heard of who had problems in the rehab. That was right around the All-Star break. 3-1 pitch, fastball, popped in the air, foul. Coming over and settling, leaning in and making the catch is Matt McBride. The McBride, who can handle that glove in right field, can also handle that first base movement. And we have 1 away in the third inning. That will bring up Josh Beckett. Beckett with the bat over here in the National League is 0 for 14. In the American League, he was 1 for 5. He has struck out a little more than half the time, so it doesn't figure he's been much of a hitter. And he takes ball 1. No score, third inning, 1 out, bases empty. Final game of the year between the Dodgers and Rockies. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and Beckett has a look, and that's low. Ball 2. 2-0 the count. Dodgers on a little bit of a roll by winning last night. They have now won 3 straight series for the first time since they knocked off Miami, Pittsburgh, and Atlanta back in August. Beckett takes a strike, and the count 2-1. Now the 2-1 pitch on the way. Beckett swings, hits a fly ball to right field. Andrew Brown comes up, sunglasses glistening, and makes the catch. 2 down. And the batter will be Mark Ellis. You know, during the last regular season home games, be sure to visit the Dodgers team stores throughout the stadium. All merchandise will be up to 50% off, and that includes all the jackets. So whether you're shopping for yourself or the Dodger fan in your family, visit the Dodgers team stores at Dodger Stadium. Another thought, as we run out of September, what about Christmas presents? 2 out, bases empty. Dodgers have 1 hit, a single by Victorino. 7 in a row have been retired by Jorge De La Rosa. Ellis fly to center in the first inning. De La Rosa's fastball in for a strike, and the count 0-1. In his development as a big league pitcher, De La Rosa talks about the fact that he's far able to control himself and his temper, and he's learned to throw strikes. Strike one pitch is swung on and ripped to left field, racing over to make the catch right on the warning track is Charlie Blackmon. So a long fly ball to left for the third out, and at the end of 3, no score. On Fan Appreciation Day, they are giving away prizes of all kinds. A new car was just given away. They have a novel way with the new car. They brought it out into center field, and 5 people each had a key, and each one would try the key to see if they could get the car started. And a sizable gentleman got the car started, and it was his, much to the roar of the crowd. Just a moment ago, a couple below us just won 2 round-trip tickets to Hawaii. So it's quite a day here as the Dodgers try to pay back, to show the fans their deep appreciation for all of their loyalty, the ups and the downs. Dodgers right now have drawn 3,178,000, so they'll go over the 3,200,000. And with 3 games with the Giants and the race still alive, who knows? We'll just wait and see. Andrew Brown struck out in the first inning and loads one. Going back is Victorino, but he's not going to catch that one. It is in the pavilion. So Andrew Brown finally breaks the string after 26 consecutive scoreless innings. Brownie hits a home run leading off the 4th, and the Rockies are on the board 1-0. For Josh Beckett, that would be the 5th home run that he's allowed as a Dodger. He allowed 16 when he was over in the American League, so a total of 21 home runs allowed this year. For Andrew Brown, his 5th home run, and the Rockies lead 1-0. The batter now, Chris Nelson, 0 for 1. He lifts one foul way off to the left and way out of play. 0-1 to count. So Nelson followed by Blackmon. For the Rockies, they had a squib single in the first inning. They had a comebacker and a double in the 3rd inning, and now they get on the boards with a home run. So they have 1 run on 4 hits. The next pitch on the outside corner for a strike. 0-2 the count to Chris Nelson. Rockies beat the Dodgers in Denver 6 out of 9. Strike 2 pitch is foul back. Dodgers trying to at least return the favor. They've beaten the Rockies 6 out of 8 here. No balls, 2 strikes. Chris Nelson on the heels of the home run by Andrew Brown. Fastball got him. So down goes Nelson. Caught looking at a 0-2 fastball. 3rd strikeout for Beckett. Got time to think a little bit? Okay, here's the question. Roberto Clemente's 3,000th and last hit was 40 years ago today. He won 12 Gold Gloves. Which 3 position players won more than 12 gloves? Well, we'll give the answer in a while. Here's Charlie Blackmon. He walked and then was picked off. This time he hits a fly ball. Kemp started back. Now he has to come rushing in and make the catch. Well, the old adage about speed never has a slump. Matt read it wrong. He backed up thinking it was going to be a long fly ball. Then he was just able to correct and realize on the dead run and made the running catch. Went down in the process. So 2 out, and the batter Matt McBride. Roberto Clemente, as we just told you, collected his 3,000th hit in Pittsburgh's Three Rivers Stadium on this day back in 1972. Line drive fair, just inside the chalk, and going down to second base with the double is Matt McBride. So McBride, a 2-out double in the inning that was led off by a home run. And DJ LeMahieu coming up. Just for the books, Clemente got that 3,000th hit against a left-hander, a rookie with the Mets by the name of John Matlack. Pirates won that game, went on to go into the playoffs. Clemente played 18 years. And he died December the 31st, 1972, in a plane crash off the coast of San Juan, Puerto Rico. He was on his way on a charity mission to Nicaragua. And you may or may not know, as they're walking LeMahieu, Dodgers had Roberto Clemente. They drafted him in 1952. They thought they were hiding him, which is one of the really big jokes of all time, because everybody knew what a player he was. But the Dodgers thought, no, we'll leave him in Montreal and nobody will know. The Pirates drafted him, and that was that. You often think, wow, to have an outfield of Clemente and Snyder and Ferrillo at Ebbets Field.
Pitcher number 29.
But it was not to be. And Roberto inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1973. The great Roberto Clemente, number 21. 1-0, and Jorge De La Rosa hit a comebacker that got away off the glove of Beckett for a base hit. De La Rosa brings up a rather gaudy batting average of .500. That translates 2 for 4. Left-hand batter. 0-1. So in the inning, Brown homers, Nelson strikes out, Blackmon flies to center, but McBride doubles, so they walk LeMahieu. 0-1 to De La Rosa. One ball and 1 strike. If you know the history of the Dodgers, Branch Rickey back in 1950 was running the Dodgers. Walter O'Malley took over in 51. Branch Rickey went to Pittsburgh, and his son, Branch Rickey Jr., was very, very active in baseball. And I do remember the winter meetings. Little foul, no chance, 1-2. And I still can close my eyes and see Branch Rickey Jr. standing up and saying the Pittsburgh Pirates draft outfielder Roberto Clemente from the Brooklyn Dodgers. And that was the beginning of that magnificent 18-year career in Pittsburgh. 2 on, 2 out. 1-0 in favor of Colorado. And the fastball waved at and missed, and down he goes. However, the Rockies get a run. It took them 26 innings, but they got the run to lead 1-0. From AT&T Uverse. Visit AT&T.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. And by El Pollo Loco. Crazy you can taste. The Cardinals have knocked the Washington Nationals from pillar to post. They are now leading 10-4, top of the ninth inning. Carlos Beltran just singled in his 5th run. He has 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. There is in the ninth inning with 1 out, so the Cardinals look like they're going to breeze. The Dodgers then would be hurt. Not only would they fall back for the moment, 2.5 back, but more importantly, with the Cardinal victory, the magic number, any combination of Cardinal victories and or Dodger defeats, that adds up to 2, and it's over. So there is all the heat on the Dodgers, and of course they knew it was out of their hands. All they can do is win, they hope, and hope that the Cardinals would lose. But they wound up winning, or will win, 2 out of 3 from Washington. And then as the Dodgers will be rolling all over Dodger Stadium with the Giants, the Cardinals will be hosting the Cincinnati Reds. Victorino, no balls and 1 strike, had a base hit, stole second in the 1st inning. And that's going to go foul. 0-2 the count. Shane Victorino tied now with Mike Lum. Mike Lum, if I remember correctly, played with the Atlanta Braves. 0-2. Sprayed the other way. Still 0-2. Fan Appreciation Day here at Dodger Stadium. Bottom of the 4th inning. And the Rockies lead 1-0 on the home run by Andrew Brown. A little low. 1-2 the count. With the upcoming Giant series tomorrow night, which will be a huge game, Aaron Harang will go to the mound against Matt Cain. And if the Dodgers survive Monday night, then Barry Zito will go up against Chris Capuano. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Another foul. And then if it comes to the final game at 4:15 in the afternoon, Ryan Vogelsong for the Giants. That's right. Clayton Kershaw would be going for the Dodgers. So we shall see. And remember, Wednesday's 4:15. 1-2. And line to center, coming up to play it on a bounce is young Ortega. So Victorino, a leadoff base hit, tying run aboard, and Kemp and Gonzalez coming up. Victorino stole second in the first inning, but that was with 2 out and Gonzalez at the plate. You don't expect him to do any running against a veteran left-hander with a good move with Matt Kemp at the plate. Matt, a fly ball to left field in the first inning. Oh, 0-1, foul ball. Well, it's all over. The Cardinals beat the Nationals 10-4. Washington is now tied with Cincinnati for the best record, only 3 games ahead of Atlanta in the East. So there's a little bit of life left even in that area. 0-1 the count to Matt Kemp. 1-0 favor of the Colorado Rockies. De La Rosa just staring at Victorino. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jorge De La Rosa, 31 years old, from Monterrey, Mexico, Nuevo Leon, and San Nicolas. One ball, 1 strike. Getting Matt Kemp off the plate. 2-1 the count. Now let's see where the next pitch is. It's always interesting. That's a purpose pitch. He's not just throwing inside. He's setting that up and in for the next one. And the battle is, okay, is he going to go away or is he going to come back in again? And he went down and a little bit away. 2-2. He's a fox out there. Jorge De La Rosa. Two and 2. De La Rosa had made 67 pitches. There goes Victorino. And Kemp unloads to deepest right center. Running parallel, leaping against the wall, unable to catch it is Ortega. And just like that, Matt Kemp has hit it out, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. So Matt Kemp, who hit 2 last night, now hits one out to right center. So he's covered all the bases. He hit one almost to the very top of the left field pavilion last night. He hit one over the scoreboard to right. This time a towering drive to right center. Ortega leaped in the air but couldn't make the play. And Kemp has his 23rd home run, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. A 2-ball, 2-strike count. Now Gonzalez fouls it back. For Jorge De La Rosa, who has not pitched much, that is the 4th home run that he's allowed, but it's the 4th home run he's allowed in about 10 innings. But again, remember, he's coming back from a tough Tommy John surgery. 0-2 the count. Adrian Gonzalez. Breaking ball, popped into shallow left center. It will drop for a base hit. So Gonzalez, a fly ball single, he will take it. And the batter will be Hanley Ramirez.
Shortstop number 13, Hanley Ramirez.
Dodgers now 2 runs, 4 hits. For Adrian Gonzalez, that will continue his hitting streak. He has hit safely now 12 straight. Hanley Ramirez flied to right in the second inning. Pacheco out to the mound to talk to De La Rosa. Still nobody out. Remember, Victorino opened with a single, and Victorino broke to steal, and Kemp hit one into the right center field pavilion. Now Gonzalez singles, and here is Ramirez. Oh and 1. Little foul ball. Hanley hitting .254. Jorge De La Rosa working very carefully. Of course, Ramirez with 24 home runs. He has one more than Matt. 0-2. Good pitch down and away. On deck, Luis Cruz. No balls and 2 strikes. 2-1 Dodgers. 4th inning. Nobody out. Gonzalez at first. That's in the dirt. Matt Kemp sitting in the dugout in the glow of having just hit another big home run, trying to carry the ball club on his shoulders. And of course it brings back with a rush the difference between the Dodgers when Kemp starts and when he fails to start. It's the difference between winning and losing. High fly ball into right field. This one is playable. Brown is ready to make the catch. Holding at first is Gonzalez. To give you an idea of the Dodgers with and without Matt Kemp. When Matt Kemp is in the starting lineup, the Dodgers are 57-44. They score better than 4 runs a game. When he is not in the starting lineup, they are 26-31. They average 3 runs a game. So a huge difference, and he's made that big difference again in this series. And again, for the Dodgers, they will be plagued if they don't make it with the thought of what might have been. For Matt Kemp, playing today means he has played in 103 games, but it also points up the fact he missed 59 games. That's an awful lot of misses. 1 ball and no strike. Luis Cruz. They are holding Gonzalez, although the chances of Adrian stealing a base are pretty slim. One ball and no strikes to Cruz. Foul back. 1-1. Fastball that cleared the backstop. And looking, since we brought it up, Adrian Gonzalez, he has 1 stolen base in the last 3 years. He has 2 stolen bases in his career in the big leagues. But they hold him on like he's Shane Victorino. And there he goes, hit and run, and it's hammered to left field, heading towards the bullpen and gone. Home run for Luis Cruz, and the Dodgers lead 4-1. So Jorge De La Rosa is hammered on a hit-and-run play with Gonzalez going, and Cruz hits it into the bullpen. And the Dodgers now enjoying a 4-1 lead. For Cruz, his 6th home run, 39 runs batted in. So for Jorge De La Rosa, coming back from the surgery, he's been very painful. He's now allowed 5 home runs in about 10 innings. Rockies had a momentary 1-0 lead on the home run by Andrew Brown, but the Dodgers figured to outgun them and lead 4-1. The batter is Andre Ethier. Right. 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to count. De La Rosa looked terrific for 3 innings. Again, remember, coming back from surgery, he made 36 pitches in the first 3 innings. He allowed 1 hit. And at one stage, he retired 8 in a row. But suddenly, Matt Kemp with a left hook, and then Luis Cruz with a right cross, and it's 4-1 Dodgers. Right-hander Rob Scahill begins to warm up in the Colorado bullpen. So it figures that De La Rosa is not going to be around to make many pitches anyway. 2-1 the count. Ethier followed by A.J. Ellis. Luis Cruz gives De La Rosa the headache today. 2-1. Whoa. Good fastball, good swing. 2-2 the count. Just low and off the corner. 3-2 to Andre. Dodgers with 2 home runs today, though they now have 111 for the year. Matt with 23, Luis Cruz with 6. And down goes Ethier. That's the second out of the inning. Andre 0 for 2 against the left-hander. And the batter is A.J. Ellis, who fouled out. Nothing fancy, just a good fastball, and he was able to throw it by Andre. Ellis fouled out in the 3rd inning. When you think about a catcher, 126 games. It was 95 when the game started today. He played last night. You wonder how they can hit it all by the time they get to this stage of the year. How strong they have to be. AJ hit that lull. He went 0 for 30, but he has fought his way back nicely, hitting .269. 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Then you think about the catchers who are not favored by the basically nicer weather here in Southern California. Catch in Cincinnati, St. Louis. 1-1. Ground foul. 1-2. Light breeze blowing from left to right. So for the folks in the right field pavilion, chance just to breath. There are fans and plenty of other fans. 4-1 in favor of the Dodgers. Bottom of the 4th, 2 out. Cardinals 1, so the number is 2. And down goes AJ. Second strikeout in the inning for De La Rosa, but he gave up home runs to Matt Kemp with a man aboard, Luis Cruz with a man aboard, and it's 4-1 Dodgers.
62.
Maury Will steals his 104th base of the season 10 days after breaking Ty Cobb's 47-year-old record for stolen bases in a season.
It turned out that every time I got on first base, 56,000 people were chanting, "Go, go, go." You could hear them all the way downtown L.A.
14, Josh Rutledge.
Here at Dodger Stadium, the Dodgers out in front 4-1. Cardinals take a little gloss off the Dodger victory because they've already won. So that means the number for survival for the Dodgers is 2. But home runs by Kemp and Cruz have lifted the clouds around Dodger Stadium. It's also lifted the spirits as we celebrate Fan Appreciation Day and folks getting some wonderful gifts if they're fortunate enough. In the 5th inning, Rutledge, Ortega, and Pacheco. Rockies went 26 innings without a run, and then Andrew Brown led off the 4th with a home run. Big chopper to Cruz, and his high throw over the glove of Gonzalez, backed up by Ellis, and safely aboard is Rutledge. Rutledge did not make a turn, went straight down the line. The Cruz will draw the error. And the batter will be Rafael Ortega. So what a comeuppance. I mean, you just hit a home run with a man aboard. You're feeling great. Get your glove, you go back out, boom. First play, you throw it away. But isn't that baseball? Ortega had an infield single, stole a base, walk. Good bunt. He's got Cruz deep, no chance for a play. So Rafael Ortega in his major league debut is 2 for 2 plus a walk and a stolen base. And all of a sudden the Rockies have 2 on and nobody out. No play for Cruz, no chance. And the batter is Pacheco. So for Rafael Ortega, just called up from Modesto and having himself a wonderful way to begin a career. 21 years old. All right, 2 on, nobody out. Pacheco flied to center and hit into a double play. A great start by Mark Ellis, gloving it deep in the hole on the right side and then turning the double play. Fouled away, 0-1. Jordan Pacheco hitting .305, 5 home runs, 52 runs batted in. On deck, Andrew Brown, who homered in the 4th inning. Beckett, who is as deliberate as any pitcher in the game, with a man at second base. I mean, Josh comes set, and he will just not look back at second. He will just stare at the running. Not this time. 0-2. One reason Beckett is so deliberate, he's had problems with base stealers. In his career, they've had a 76% success, but in the last 4 years, it's gotten worse. Base runners, 88% of the time, they're successful in stealing against Josh Beckett. 0-2. Boy, he's really looking back at Rutledge, and too much time. Dodgers lead 4-1. 5th inning, nobody out. Rutledge and Ortega out there on the base paths. Slider away, 1-2. Rockies 1 run on 6 hits. Dodgers 4 runs on 5 hits. Rockies home run, bases empty. Dodgers 2 home runs, each with a man aboard. Boy, look at him, look. And that takes care of Pacheco. So for Beckett, that would be his 5th strikeout. 1 down. And now a meeting at the mound as Andrew Brown comes up to the plate. Mark Ellis, remember, made the big play. Now he has left that huddle and goes back, having found out what he wanted. Usually the infielders want to figure out about pitch selection so that they can be able not to cheat, but they can be ready in advance. All right, Ellis and Ramirez go back, and here's Brown. Struck out and homered. He has 5 home runs, 11 runs batted in, hitting .245. Ball 1. I would think it's a little maddening for 2 players. First of all, the runner at second base with Beckett just staring at him. And meanwhile, the hitter has a tendency to freeze up at the plate, if it's possible to freeze in 95-degree weather. 1 ball and no strikes. Two and 0 the count to Andrew Brown. Waiting on deck, Chris Nelson. That's a strike. 2 and 1. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Sean Tollison begins to warm up. Beckett had made 67 pitches in the first 4 innings. So they're going to be watching him very carefully here in the 5th. The error and the bunt single. 2 and 1. Breaking ball popped up. Going out Ramirez, and the infield fly rule is called. Well, Brown pops it up, 2 down. And the batter will be Chris Nelson. We know tomorrow night here it'll be Matt Cain and Aaron Harang. We now find out tomorrow night in St. Louis it'll be Bronson Arroyo, a 12-game winner for the Reds, who are now tied with Washington for the best record in the National League, and Jaime Garcia, 6 and 7, will be on the mound for the Cardinals. Ball 1. Meanwhile, the Nationals will go home and host the Phillies. The Braves, 3 back, go to Pittsburgh. So there are a couple of stories not yet written. Nelson grounded to short, struck out, 0 for 2. Rutledge and Ortega out on the lines. 1 ball, no strikes. On the hands, little ground ball, force play on the bag, so that's that. That was the easy way to get out of the jam as Nelson rolls it to Cruz. So no runs, a hit, an error, 2 left. At the end of 4 1/2, 4-1 Dodgers. called it a day. For the Dodgers, they've pushed over 4. 2 home runs have done that. De La Rosa's ball club got 1 on the home run. Josh Beckett has allowed 1 more hit than De La Rosa did, but the Dodger hits had more power to them. The other interesting thing is the fact that the Rockies have not helped De La Rosa at all. Colorado is 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position in the first 5 innings. Rob Scahill will come out of the pen, and Scahill picks up as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Cardinals won their game. Dodgers trying to win, but they've already lost 1 in the magic number. And Scahill will now get his feet wet in this one. For the Dodgers, they'll have Josh Beckett to start it all. It'll be Beckett, Ellis, and Victorino. De La Rosa comes out having made 67 pitches. He did very well the first 3 innings, but coming back from the surgery, he just ran out of gas. So the Dodgers now take a look at Rob Scahill. He's from Illinois, DuPage, and lives in Lombard. 6'2", 220. Ideal size for a big league pitcher. Fastball, strike. Rob is 25 years old. Went to Bradley University. 0-1. That's in there. 0-2. Scahill was originally drafted by the Yankees when he graduated from high school. That's going to go down the line, slicing, foul, and out of play. So Josh Beckett flied to right field in the 3rd inning, 0 for 1 against young Rob Scahill, who's only been a pro since 2009. Had 3 years in Double-A, and misses. 1-2 the count. Ellis on deck, 0 for 2 with fly balls. One ball and 2 strikes the count. Fastball, see you later. No doubt about that, and he hurried that thing up to the plate.
Dodgers second baseman, number 14.
Mark Ellis coming up, made what might be one of the big plays of the game. 2 on, 1 out in the 3rd inning, and a good pick. Got it to Ramirez, who got it back to first when they doubled up Jordan Pacheco. It looked like base hit when it left the bat, so it was a big play. Of course, I think all the Dodgers would agree Mark Ellis is the best fielding infielder they have. So here is Mark, 0 for 2. A bunt, foul. So he'll have to come back and try it again. 0-1. For Colorado, it's been a frustrating day. They left a runner at second base in the 1st inning. They had the bases loaded in the 3rd, and that's when Ellis made the big play on the double play. Then they had the home run and a double and a walk, and left 2 more in the 4th and left 2 more in the 5th. So they've left 7 men. They're 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And the Dodgers leading 4-1. No balls, 1 strike. 0-2. Mark, bothered by a virus down in San Diego, didn't look well at all, was on an IV. They decided to rest him last night because of today being a day game. So Nick Punto did a fine job at second base last night. and even finished up at third. 0-2. 1-2. Outfield pretty deep, and they give him all of left center field. Ortega shaying into right center and deep. Two and two the count to Mark Ellis. 4-1 Dodgers, bottom of the fifth. In case you missed it, Cardinals pounded Washington 10-4. So they've reduced the number from 3 to 2. Meanwhile, Ellis goes all the way against Cahill. Matt Kemp unloaded with Victorino aboard. Luis Cruz on what appeared to be a hit and run play. Adrian Gonzalez running, and Cruz hit it in the Dodger bullpen. Ground ball back at third. Nice play by Chris Nelson. He had a backup to get a hop, and just about on the foul line made the long, accurate throw. 2 down, Shane Victorino. He has singled twice, stole a base, and was aboard in the fourth inning when Kemp cleared the right center field wall. Giants here tomorrow night. The Dodgers still alive, and it'll be Matt Cain and Aaron Harang. Sure hope you'll be out here with us. And a line drive base hit. So that'll bring up Matt Kemp with a man aboard. So Victorino having a nice day. 3 for 3 with a stolen base. And here's Matt. Kemp flied to left field in the first inning and homered to right center in the fourth. By the way, tomorrow night's game, if you can make it, but we sure hope you're out here with us. Tomorrow night on Prime Ticket, big game with the Giants. And ball one. Matt with 23 home runs, 4 years in a row, 20 or more. He has been the tower of strength for the Dodgers, but as we pointed out, when he's able to play. One ball and no strikes. Count went to 2-2 back in the fourth inning, and that's when Kemp hit it out. Victorino was going on the pitch. Sliced into right field. That's a base hit. Victorino on his way to third, and Brown gets the ball back into second base. So Matt Kemp comes up with his second hit, a base hit to right. Victorino goes to third, and Adrian Gonzalez will be coming up.
First baseman, Adrian Gonzalez.
Gonzalez struck out and singled. Hanley Ramirez on deck. So Cahill in trouble now. 2 out, first and third, and one of the top hitters in the big leagues in driving in runs. Adrian Gonzalez continues to be second in the major leagues. He's hitting .391 with runners in scoring position. So let's see what he does now with Victorino at third. And ball one. Gonzalez has hit safely in 12 straight with the base hit in the fourth inning. And ball two. Waiting on deck, Hanley Ramirez. Bo McLaughlin, the pitching coach, going out. He replaced the very popular Bob Apodaca. Apodaca moved upstairs into the front office. So Bo out there to try and counsel young Scahill. He's got 2 out, first and third. But a very tough hitter in Adrian Gonzalez. All right, the meeting broken up. Bo goes back into the dugout. Matt Kemp at first. Davey Lopes over to talk to him. Looked like Matt wanted to ask him a question. Victorino down the line from third. 2-0 the count to Adrian Gonzalez. Two and one. It was scoreless going into the 4th inning. Andrew Brown homered in the top of the 4th, and the Dodgers came back with 2-run home runs by Kemp and Cruz to lead 4-1. High foul that should go out of play, and does. So the deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and 2 on at first and third. All right, they hook up again. Rob Scahill, the 25-year-old out of Illinois, trying to work his way out of a jam. Fastball away. 2 strikes. Adrian couldn't afford to take it, so he had to protect the outside part of the plate, and the count stays 2-2. Adrian now talks briefly to the plate umpire, Vic Caporazzo, and no doubt the odds are he asked the umpire, did I foul off a strike? 2-2. And a little chopper foul off his foot, so no play. So Victorino will go back to third. Kemp will go back to first. Scahill will go back to try to figure out how to get Gonzalez out. Two and two. So Adrian just hanging in there, fouling them off. And ball 3. So a moment of truth for young Rob Scahill. He goes all the way with 2 out. Kemp will be going from first, and Victorino ready to come down from third. Breeze has picked up now, refreshing the people out there in the right field pavilion. And welcome it is. Kemp ready. They're not holding him on. There he goes. And it's a foul ball. So Gonzalez up there a while. It has been a 9-pitch at bat so far. So here comes number 10. McBride deep behind Kemp, so Matt takes a pretty comfortable lead. There he goes. And it's another foul ball going back into the stands. So that's 10 pitches. Meanwhile, like an artist checking his violins and the strings, Adrian backed out to see if he could hear a sound bouncing the handle of the bat in the dirt. 3-2. Pitch number 11. And it's ball 4. Well, that was caught in that bat. Gonzalez walks. Kemp goes to second. Victorino is at third. And Hanley Ramirez coming up. Ramirez twice flied to right field, but each of those at-bats were against the left-hander, Jorge De La Rosa. Now he's facing Rob Scahill. He has 5 grand slams in his career, and he's a .300 hitter under those circumstances. Victorino, Kemp, and Gonzalez all out on the lines. Dodgers trying to break the game open here at the expense of Rob Scahill. Fastball fouled away upstairs off to the right. No balls, 1 strike. And a line drive base hit to left field. Victorino scores. Matt Kemp to the plate in a collision at home plate. He is what? He's out. So Kemp in a collision with Pacheco is out at the plate. Great throw by Charlie Blackmon. Dodgers get 1. And at the end of 5, it's 5-1 Dodgers. As if they need it. What a loyal base they've had. Do you know the Dodgers are going to draw over $3 million again this year? On this day back in 2007, the Dodgers drew 3,857,000. That's been their biggest year. But the tribute to the fans, the Dodgers have played before over 3 million fans 26 times. This being the 26th, and they have certainly a shot at going 3 million too. So with all of that, a bow from the waist, a roll of drums, and a blare of bugles to the fans. And let's go back to this one. They are great and greatly appreciated. Meanwhile, they appreciated that play at the plate, I'm sure. And what they really appreciate, if Matt Kemp is okay. And they look out there to see him. Is he rubbing anything? No. Is he limping? Doesn't look that way. 5-1 Dodgers. We're in the 6th inning. Beckett's straight change. Take another look at the play at the plate. You can see Pacheco is ready. He takes a shoulder, but he turns, so it is Kemp who really hits the dirt hard. Pacheco played that very well. He was like a revolving door. That's why Pacheco was okay. Plus, of course, he's wearing the gear. But if we could look at that play one more time, just watch what Pacheco does. He knows he's going to take a lick from a big guy coming from second base. So that's a runaway truck. When we have a minute, we'll show you Pacheco. 2-2 the count. Here it is. Now just watch the catcher. Here comes Matt. And watch Pacheco roll with the punch. He's going to get hit there, and he turns around. He goes down one way, and Matt hits the ground very hard, and Pacheco's first up. Fly ball to center field. Matt's right there. One away. Of course, again, every time you see a play at home plate, you may or may not think about it. I certainly do. If it were a Giant game and Buster Posey would be at the plate, and we will see Buster starting tomorrow night. The Giants do not want Posey to be in a collision. They'd rather have him give the run and avoid injury after what happened last year. Matt McBride flied to left, doubled, 1 for 2. Played right field for 2 games, first base in the concluding game. We're in the 6th. 5-1 Dodgers. 3 home runs in the game. Andrew Brown, nobody on. Kemp with a man aboard. Cruz with a man aboard. Kemp's hope went to right center field. Cruz, a line drive into the Dodger bullpen. 2-0. In there. 2-1. Fastball popped in foul ground. Out comes Ellis. Down comes Gonzalez. It's Ellis. Boy, Adrian really broke after that ball. I guess when it left the bat, he didn't think A.J. had a play. A nice play by Ellis and a good backup play by the veteran first baseman. I mean, here comes Adrian. He's not about to slow down either until the last second. Two down in the 6th inning. DJ LeMahieu, the 6'4" second baseman, grounded out and walked. Rather tall for a second baseman at 6'4". The Cardinals years ago had a big lanky shortstop, Marty Marion. They called him Slats. He'd go right along with Mayhew. Down in the Rockies pen, Alex White, a right-hander, begins to warm up. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's going to be popped. Going out to get it is Ramirez, and that's that. 1-2-3 inning for Josh Beckett. And at the end of 5.5, 5-1 Dodgers. fourth inning. Adrian Gonzalez was going, and the base call kept going and wound up in the bullpen, provided by that swing of Luis Cruz. So the Dodgers leading 5-1, and Cruz will lead off matters in the bottom of the sixth inning. Two changes for the Rockies. Tyler Colvin, who is normally the center fielder, they're not sure why, but he has a swollen left elbow. But he's coming in now to play first base. Alex White, a right-hand pitcher, will be the third pitcher for Colorado. Alex White is out of Greenville, North Carolina. Went to the University of North Carolina. So the Tar Heel is a big one. He's 6'3", 195, right-handed all the way. He was a first-round pick by the Cleveland Indians. Signed a letter of intent to go to North Carolina. Turned down the Dodgers. Dodgers tried to sign Alex White in the 14th round 6 years ago, but he went to school and eventually signed for a big bonus with the Indians. In fact, 2 years ago, he was the Indians' minor league pitcher of the year. Luis Cruz has popped up and hit a two-run home run. One ball and no strikes. In the Dodger bullpen, left-hander Paco Rodriguez loosening up. Dodgers leading 5-1. Cruz hits that one foul off third. Nelson over to take a look, but that's all. 1-1 the count. Cruz hit his 6th home run of the year with Gonzalez going and 2 out in the 4th inning. I think Luis' mother and father have been here for this weekend to see him play, making the trip up from Mexico. 1-1. And a strike. 1-2. Two and two. Cruz followed by Ethier and then A.J. Ellis. De La Rosa, Scahill, and now White. And pretty good sinking fastball to take care of Cruz. So 1 out in the 6th inning, and Andre Ethier coming up. Ethier flied to center, struck out 0 for 2. Those at-bats were against the left-hander, Jorge De La Rosa. Now he looks at a right-hander. Big difference, of course, for Andre Ethier, talking left and right. He's hitting .324 against right-handers. Left-handers less than .220, maybe about .215. And ball one. When the Rockies come up in the 7th, I would assume Tyler Colvin, the first baseman, would lead it off. They would put Alex White in Matt McBride's spot, number 7, and get him out of the way. So Colvin, Rutledge, and Ortega would appear to be due up in the 7th inning. 5-1 Dodgers. Cardinals won, in case you've been at the beach. Cardinals beat Washington 10-4. And the magic number is 2. It will stay 2 if the Dodgers win this game. And we'll have more action tomorrow night. Matt Cain and the Giants and Aaron Harang. 3-0. Well, that's the philosophy of a good hitter like Don Mattingly. He wants to get Ethier going. He knows and senses Andre's frustration against a left-hander. So, with a 3-0 count, Mattingly green lights him. Go ahead, take a rip at it. And he pulled it foul. 3-1. 3-2. Andre hitting .282 overall. Fouled away again. 3-2 the count to Andre Ethier. 1 out, 6th inning. Dodgers lead 5-1. The Reds will be in St. Louis tomorrow night. I don't know what the Cardinals and Reds. Let me see if I have a note on that in my book. No, we'll have to look it up. Still foul back. Cardinals and Cincinnati going head to head, just to give us an idea of what to think about when they take the field tomorrow night in St. Louis. 3-2 to Andre Ethier. 5-1. Favor the Dodgers. Fouled away again. Rockies have 1 run. That was the home run by Brown. They went 26 scoreless innings. So if you include what's going on here, they've had 1 run in their last 29 innings. Three and two. And going foul down the line. If you are a baseball fan, and certainly if you're a Rockies fan, you can't help but thinking, where is Todd Helton? Where is Troy Tulowitzki? Where is Carlos Gonzalez? Where is Dexter Fowler? Where is Jason Giambi? I mean, they're just in a bad way to go. 3-2. Another foul. We have the answer. The Reds and the Cardinals, they have played each other 12 times. And the Reds have won 6 and the Cardinals have won 6. And they'll begin their 3-game series in St. Louis tomorrow night. And it's very important for Cincinnati. I mean, they're trying to beat out Washington for the best home record, home field advantage. Meanwhile, for the Giants, all they need to do is have a chance to beat the Dodgers for any reason whatsoever. And another foul ball. So Ethier has had 11 pitches. Adrian Gonzalez had a 12-pitch at bat in the 5th inning when he drew a walk. So here comes the 12th pitch to Andre Ethier. Another foul ball. Do I hear 13? You sure do. This will be the 13th pitch, and we've had 9 straight foul balls. Remember, the count was 3-0, and then the fouls. And he wins, ball 4. So the 12-pitch at bat for Gonzalez was a walk. The 13-pitch at bat for Ethier a walk. And the batter will be A.J. Ellis. Remember the question? Roberto Clemente, 3,000 hit 40 years ago today. He won 12 Gold Gloves. Which 3 position players have won more? Brooks Robinson, 16. Ozzie Smith, 13. Ivan Rodriguez, 13. Fouled away. just to add to the trivia, 2 pitchers won more Gold Gloves than Roberto Clemente. Left-handed Jim Cott won 16, and Greg Maddux, in his long career, won 18 Gold Gloves. Out on deck now, Elian Herrera. He would bat for Beckett. We're in the 6th inning. 5-1 Dodgers. Whoop. 1-1. Alex White struck out Cruz, had a 13-pitch battle with Ethier, who walked. 1-1 to Ellis with a little 5-game hitting streak. A.J. fouled out and struck out. Ethier doesn't do much base stealing. 2 out of 4. If he's going, it's always part of a hit and run play. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a strike, 1 and 2. To repeat, the Rockies would appear to have Colvin, Rutledge, and Ortega in the 7th inning. And Josh Beckett figures to be out of the game, with Herrera on deck to bat for him. 1 and 2. And hit in the air to center and deep. Back goes Ortega at the wall. Gone. A.J. Ellis clears the center field wall, and the Dodgers now lead 7-1, and they've had 3 home runs, each with a man aboard. So Alex White is welcomed to the club by A.J. Ellis. A.J. not only keeping a little 6-game hitting streak alive, Elian Herrera will now be the batter for Josh Beckett. Ellis with 12 home runs and 50 runs batted in. You would think this game, in looking at 3 Dodger home runs, that it might be played in Denver. Herrera fouling it the other way, 0-2. Dodgers on a tear. They really woke up after one of the more frustrating games of the year in San Diego. Remember when the Dodgers lost that game 2-1 and Victorino was thrown out at the plate? And then they turned around. They scored 8 the next day, 8 the next day, 8 the next day. And all of a sudden they are on a roll. Dodgers trying to win their 5th in a row. And they're on their way, leading 7-1. That's lifted into left center. Blackman and Ortega. It'll be Blackman. And that's the 2nd out. So now Mark Ellis will be coming up. 2 out, 6th inning. Timely home runs, each with a man aboard. And then in the 5th inning, the Dodgers got a single run when Victorino singled, Kemp singled, Gonzalez walked, and Ramirez singled in Victorino while Kemp was thrown out at the plate. And Ellis, a towering foul ball, and the count no balls, 1 strike. Dodgers have kind of covered it in the sense Kemp hit a home run to right center. Cruz hit a line drive into the Dodger bullpen. And now Ellis hits one into the center field pavilion. Popped up. It'll be the second baseman LeMahieu. That'll do it for the inning. Another 2-run home run. This one by A.J. Ellis with Ethier aboard after a 13-pitch walk. And the Dodgers lead 7-1. Home runs by Kemp Cruz and A.J. Ellis. They added one more in good measure, and they are leading 7-1. For the Rockies to have just one solitary run in the series, that was a home run by Brown in the 4th inning. So they actually have had one run in their last 29 innings. It's been a tough time for Jim Tracy, but as we have explained, the Rockies have really and truly been ripped by injuries. The Dodgers have had their share, but for the Rockies, it's just been totally out of hand. Young Paco Rodriguez will come in as we go to the 7th inning, and the Dodgers sitting on a 7-1 lead. The Cardinals, by winning, reduced the magic number from 3 to 2, so the Dodgers battling to stay alive. And then tomorrow night, the Giants will be here, and it will be Matt Cain and Aaron Harang. If you wonder about the Dodgers going up against the Giants, it has been a pretty tough sled. Of course, the Giants winning the division and doing it handily. The Dodgers have lost 9 of 15 to San Francisco, losing 4 out of 6 to them here at Dodger Stadium and losing 5 of 9 to them up at AT&T Park. So as we guess, Tyler Colvin will bat 9th, playing first base. And then it'll be Rutledge and Ortega, and left-hander Paco Rodriguez picking up for Beckett, who pitched a strong 6 innings, allowing 1 run. And that's promptly stroked into right field. So Colvin, who's been out, he's a fine center fielder, good-looking ball player, hitting .290, but he just couldn't play. As far as I know, they were still puzzled. He did play the first game of the series. He went 1 for 4, but he struck out twice, and the elbow was bothering him, and then it just puffed up. But he gets a clean single to right, and the batter, Rutledge. Behind Paco Rodriguez, Sean Tollison is warming up. Line drive foul. So Rodriguez saying, wait a minute, I make one pitch and it's lined into right field. I make another pitch and Rutledge almost blisters the foul line. 0-1. 1-1. Dodgers, of course, lost a very valuable member, left-hander Scott Elbert. Had surgery for clean out the elbow area. Fastball lifted to right center. Ethier has the call. So Rutledge, a fly ball. He goes 1 for 4. Colvin at first, and the batter is Ortega. For a kid who spent all year at Modesto, he's had a nice start. He had a ground ball wide of first, way wide of first. It could have been fielded by Mark Ellis. Adrian Gonzalez went way off the plantation to field the ground ball, and Ortega then beat out the throw to Josh Beckett. Then Ortega walked in the 3rd inning and, for good measure, bunted for a base hit in the 5th. He also stole second in the game. So the 21-year-old just called up, making his major league debut. One ball and no strikes. Two 2-0. 7-1 Dodgers, 7th inning. Foul ball. 2-1 to Rafael Ortega. Ortega from El Tigre, the Tiger. Talking about the Tiger, I wonder how the Tiger and others did in the Ryder Cup. 2-1. Three and one. Jordan Pacheco on deck, hitting back of Ortega. 3 balls, 1 strike. Three and two. Three and two the count. Colvin at first with 1 out. He's not going. And a breaking ball for strike 3 call. So Ortega pays the price of a high breaking ball that dips in. 2 down, and the batter will be Jordan Pacheco. And we will see now as Pacheco comes up. Don Mattingly making his way to the mound. He's got Tollison if he wants to bring him in. And he does. He'll take the ball from Paco. The 21-year-old jogs off the field, and we'll be back. a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. So to learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. Paco Rodriguez makes 10 pitches. He comes out. Sean Tolleson takes over. And in case you didn't know, and boy, it certainly came as a shock up here because we've been busy watching the Dodgers, the United States lost the Ryder Cup to Europe, 14.5 points to 13.5 points. It looked like they were going to breeze. At one time, they were leading 9-4, then 10-6. The Dodgers can learn something about that. I mean, it's conceivable. The USA loses, the Cardinals could lose. It's all part of the wonderful world of sports. 0-1 the count to Pacheco. 1-1. Dodgers leading comfortably 7-1. Rockies have a man aboard with 2 out here in the 7th inning. Fouled away. 1-2. Sean Tolleson is growing more and more into the Dodger plans coming out of the bullpen. Tolleson 3-1 in his 39th game. His strikeout to walk ratio is 2-1, and he's allowed fewer hits than innings pitched. Those are 3 very, very important areas. Sean is 6'2" and 220 out of Dallas, Texas. He comes from a family of football players. Uncle and cousin played football at Texas A&M. 2-2 the count. Tomorrow night, Matt Cain, Aaron Harang, and everything's still on the table. And that's going to be pulled down the left field line in the corner. It is going to bounce off the box seats. Victorino gets it in quickly. A long double. Stopping at third is Colvin. So Tolleson gives up the double to Pacheco. And the Rockies have runners at second and third, and Andrew Brown coming up. So another foot or so, and that would have been in the seats. It hit the box seats on the fly. So Pacheco showing no ill effects after that collision with Matt Kemp because he rolled with the punch. So second and third, 2 out. Here's Brown, struck out, homered, came up and popped up with a couple on board in the 5th inning. 5 home runs, 11 runs batted in, and a strike. We're in the 7th. Game being played at a leisurely pace. Part of it being 95 degrees when the game started. 0-2. Tolleson, base league fastball, slider. He has a cutter, which he throw mostly to left-handers, and he has a changeup. Oh and 2. 1-2. Sean Tolleson, 24 years old, working on Andrew Brown. Second and third, Pacheco at second, Colvin at third with 2 out. Two and 2. So Brown showing pretty good control on that slider. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and 2 on at second and third. 7-1 Dodgers. check. So Tollison now goes all the way with Brown. On deck, Chris Nelson. And in the Dodger bullpen, Ronald Belisario gets up. Belisario made 11 pitches in relief last night. 3-2 to Brown. And ball 4. So under the heading of the best laid plans of mice and men and major league managers, remember, Don Mattingly went out, took the ball out of the hands of Paco Rodriguez to bring in a right-hander to face Pacheco, and Pacheco doubles. Now Brown walks. Nelson is coming up with the bases loaded, and we will be back. Stake for the Dodgers, and they'll go up against a giant ace in Matt Cain, looking for a 17th win with 191 strikeouts. Aaron Harang trying to get above 500, looking for his 11th win, making his 31st start. A big one tomorrow night, the first of the last 3. Ronald Belisario facing Nelson, who is 0 for 3. Belisario came in last night, came in to face Brown, retired the side on 11 pitches, struck out 2, and he starts with a strike to Nelson. Oh, and 1. Nelson in the past 1 for 7 against Belisario. You have Brown at first, Pacheco at second, and Colvin, who started the inning with a single, is now at third. 1 ball and 1 strike. Down and away. 2-1. The Rockies, who have scored just 1 run in the last 29 innings, now have a golden opportunity. 2-1 to count. Fastball hit down to Cruz. He'll go quickly to Ellis, and that's that. So the Rockies lead 3. That's 10 they've left on, and at the end it's 6.5, 7-1 Dodgers. see that most of them have been pretty active. Andre Ethier and Mark Ellis on the outside looking in, although Ethier did at least score a run. Well, what the Dodgers did was hit at the right time. They get a man aboard, they hit a home run. They get a man aboard, and they did that 3 times. Home runs in the game. Kemp with Victorino aboard, Cruz with Gonzalez aboard, A.J. Ellis with Ethier aboard. So it's certainly been the team effort as we go into the bottom of the 7th inning. And it'll be Victorino having a big day, 3 for 3, followed by Matt Kemp and then Adrian Gonzalez. So for Victorino, doing what they had hoped he would do, he sets the table, to use that expression in baseball. Single stole second in the first inning. Single and came home on Kemp's home run. Single and came home on Ramirez's single. Alex White ready to work. Starts a strike. Ronald Belisario coming in and getting that big out with the bases loaded on 4 pitches. 0-1. 1-1. Home plate now. Almost cut in half. The shadows. Jamie Wright gets up and begins to warm up in the Dodger bullpen. Rockies have had ample opportunity. They've left 10. Foul ball. Rockies are getting closer to losing their 97th game. That's the most in Rockies history. Going all the way back to their first year in 1993, they lost 95. They are trying to snap a losing streak and not lose 100. What does 100 mean? Not really much. I mean, what the heck is the difference if you lose 99 or 100? But it's like hitting 299 and hitting 300. Somehow it means a little more. Little fly ball to left field, should be caught. Waiting out there is Blackman, and we have 1 out. So be sure to visit the official online shop of the Dodgers at Dodgers.com. You can browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps and T-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and so much more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop at Dodgers.com. So they get Victorino for the first time, and now Matt Kemp. Fly to left, homered to right center, and single to right. He was out at the plate in a collision with Jordan Pacheco. Fortunately, each man okay. That was a wonderful throw by Charlie Blackman out there in left field to get Kemp. 0-1. One ball and 1 strike. Matt 2 for 3 today, hitting .310 against Alex White. Jorge De La Rosa started, then Rob Scahill, and now White. Time. Adrian Gonzalez waiting on deck. Two and 1. White came inside to A.J. Ellis in the 6th inning. And the next thing you know, Ellis hit the next pitch out of sight. 2 and 1. 2 and 2. Matt Cain and Aaron Harang tomorrow night. Tuesday night, Barry Zito and Chris Capuano. And if it's very important, and the Dodgers certainly hope so, Wednesday night, Ryan Vogelsong and Clayton Kershaw. And remember, that's a 4:15 game. 3-2. Crowd reacting. There wasn't anything wrong about that pitch at all. It was just a fastball up. Three and two. And ball four. So Matt today has had a walk, a single, and a two-run home run. Alex White will now face Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez against Rob Scahill had a 12-pitch at-bat and drew a walk. That brought up Ramirez, who singled in a run. Adrian today struck out, singled, and walked. The single extends his hitting streak to 12. And ball one. Dodgers saw 7 Rockies pitchers last night and 4 the night before. And that's lined into right field, base hit. Kemp is not going to do any running. He just jogs into second. So a one-out single by Gonzalez. Dodgers at first and second for Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez 2 fly balls to right, line drive single to left, and 1 run batted in. So White's in trouble. He gave up the 2-run home run in the 6th. Now with 1 out, a walk and a base hit, and they'll put a new ball in play. 2 on, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th. Dodgers leading 7-1. Luis Cruz on deck. Fastball for a strike. 0-1. It seems like, maybe not so, but it seems like Hanley Ramirez hits more with 2 strikes on him than any other Dodger hitter. Doesn't necessarily mean he strikes out, but it just seems like every time you look up, there's 2 strikes on Ramirez. Little chopper smothered by Brown. The long play is too late, and the Dodgers have loaded the bases. So Chris Brown makes a nice play at third, but throws too late. So Ramirez comes up with his second hit. And here comes Cruz with the bases loaded. So in the inning, with 1 out, Kemp walked. Gonzalez singles to right. Ramirez now singles to third. Cruz popped up, hit a 2-run home run, and struck out. Only 1 out, bases loaded, infield back in double play depth, but they do bring up the corners now, Colvin and Nelson. 0-1. Cruz hitting his 6th home run of the year in the 4th inning. It was a line drive home run into the Dodger bullpen. and 1. Slap foul upstairs. 0-2. Light breeze blowing out to right field every now and then to try and cool off the people sitting in the hot sun. One out, 7th inning. Dodgers trying to add to a 7-1 lead. Off the plate. Hitting behind Cruz, Andre Ethier, who is 0 for 2, scored a run. And yet Kemp, Gonzalez, and Ramirez all out on the lines. Still foul back. 1-2 the count. Dodgers have looked at 14 Colorado pitchers in the 3 games. Jeff Francis was followed by Moscoso, Renicky, and Harris. Last night, Chatwood followed by Outman, Escalona, Brothers, Renicky, Reynolds, and Torres. And today, De La Rosa, Scahill, and White. Just about seen them all. Fastball fouled away. Of course, the players are accustomed to it, but the shadows still make it very difficult. The hitter is in complete shade, but the pitcher is in the middle of some cobwebs of light and shade. And then right behind him, brilliant light. And you're talking about fellows who throw the ball in the 90s. 1-2 to Luis Cruz. Fastball away, but with 2 strikes, he couldn't afford to take it. So he fouls it back, and he's still there. 1-2. We had Gonzalez in the 5th inning have a 12-pitch at bat. We had Andre Ethier in the 6th inning have a 13-pitch at bat. So we've certainly been through this. And Pacheco talking to Alex White. And Cruz waits. All right, Luis back up again. White's had a breather standing behind the mound. Dodgers with Kemp, Gonzalez, and Ramirez with 1 out. And fouled away again. So it looks like another lengthy at bat. 7 pitches so far. White went through the mill with Ethier, the 13-pitch at bat. Dodgers leading 7-1. They scored 4 in the 4th after the Rockies scored their only run in the series in the top of the 4th. Then they've added to it since. 1-2. Got him. So Luis chasing one up and away, strikes out. 2 down, and the batter will be Andre Ethier with the bases loaded. For Andre, he went 0 for 2 against De La Rosa, fly to center and struck out. Then had that great at bat and got the walk, and then A.J. Allis followed with a home run. So Andre gonna pick up a couple of ribbies. He has 19 home runs, hitting .282, 87 runs batted in, 2 out and standing room only. Off the plate, 1 ball and no strikes. Ethier has walked 49 times, and he has struck out 123. One and 0. And a high fly ball into right center. It appears playable, and it will be caught by Rafael Ortega. So a long fly ball out. Dodgers lead 3, and at the end of 7, 7-1 Dodgers. hit followed by a home run. Victorino singled, and Kemp hits a home run over the right center field wall. Later on, Gonzalez singles. Luis Cruz a line drive into the Dodger bullpen. And finally, Ethier walks, and A.J. Ellis hits a home run. Add to that a run driven in on a base hit by Hanley Ramirez, and the Dodgers leading handily, no pun intended, 7-1 as we go to the 8th. Charlie Blackmon, who made that strong throw to nail Matt Kemp at the plate in the 5th inning, will be facing Jamie Wright. And we'll have a hitter for Alex White, I would assume. I think the only available hitter is Jonathan Herrera. Remember, we told you at the very start of the game, and you really have to feel sorry for the Rockies, for the management, the administration. The ball club has been just riddled with big-time injuries. So much so, they're playing Colvin with a swollen elbow, and Herrera's the only healthy player they have to pinch hit. Blackmon walked and twice flied to center. And Jamie Wright, the 5th Dodger pitcher. Right. Beckett went 6th, and Rodriguez, Tolleson, Belisario, and Jamie. Not much more to say for tomorrow night. It's the Giants and the Dodgers, and it counts. Foul ball. 0-2. We're in the 8th. We haven't gotten the paid attendance yet, but it's coming up right now. Fan Appreciation Day. It was 95 degrees when the game started. I think the weather had a lot to do with it. Paid attendance 35,607. Foul ball? No, fair ball just inside the line. On his way to second is Charlie Blackmon, and he is in there with a slide right down the line. So Blackmon doubles to right, and the batter will be Jonathan Herrera, who struck out as a pinch hitter last night. Herrera batting for Alex White. So again, 35,607. Jonathan Herrera hitting .249, 3 home runs, 11 runs batted in, and pops it up. Mark Ellis. Though Herrera doesn't hang around very long. 1 away. That'll bring up DJ LeMahieu. Grounded out, walked intentionally, and fouled out. LeMahieu hitting .292, but he's not played a lot. That's a strike. On deck, left-hand hitting Tyler Colvin. Good fastball for a strike. 0-2 the count. 1 out in the 8th. Dodgers lead 7-1. Down in the bullpen, Randy Choate begins to loosen up. Colvin's a left-hand batter. One and 2 the count. Sad for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Remember what a great start they had? I mean, by the time the Pirates got to July, people were saying, what a wonderful job, what a good team finally. Well, they lost today 4-3, and that's bad news for the Bucks. That's going to go foul. The Pirates, by losing to the Reds, That means they are insured of 20 straight losing seasons, despite the fact that they were 16 games above 500 on August the 9th. From that day forward, August 9th, they are 14 and 35. 1-2. And a chopper to Adrian. He'll take it to the bag. On the play, Blackman moves over to third. So LeMahieu, a ground ball to bring up Tyler Colvin.
Batting next, first baseman
Tyler Colvin came up and singled in the 7th inning. And Don Mattingly, I believe, will go to the pen, even though the Dodgers are leading 7-1. Jamie Wright waiting for the skipper's arrival. Don talking to Wright. Nope, he takes the ball. So Jamie gets 2 outs, gives up a double. We'll be seeing Randy Choate. We'll also pause for this. Colvin with a runner at third, 2 out in the 8th, and the Dodgers leading 7-1. So Randy's been in 79 games. He is a spot left-hander. Usually comes in to face 1 hitter, 2 at the most, and then out of there. Randy facing Tyler Colvin, the 27-year-old who is a marvelous center fielder. He has a bad elbow. He's playing first base, and he got a base hit. A strike. Kyle is from Augusta, Georgia, and went to Clemson University. Oh, and 1 to count. Colvin hits it in the air. Going out is Mark Ellis. So Choate comes in, gets his man. Rockies lead Blackman at third, and we're heading with the bottom of the 8th, 7-1 Dodgers. Carlos Torres out of Santa Cruz, California, lives in Manhattan, Kansas. We saw Torres in the 8th inning last night. He came in and faced Victorino and got him to ground out. Carlos, 30 years old, the end of October, signed by the White Sox out of Kansas State 8 years ago. One of those young fellows who bounced around in college. He actually pitched at 4 colleges in 4 years, from Allen Hancock Junior College to Grossmont Junior College to San Jose State, and then finally Kansas State. 6'1", 185. Basically fastball, curve, cutter, and change. He was released by the White Sox 2 years ago so he could pitch in Asia. A.J. Ellis fouled out, struck out, and then hit a 2-run home run in the 6th inning against Alex White. Well, now the shade, as you can see, has moved out across the mound. So for a split second, when the pitcher brings the arm back, the ball is in the sunlight, but just for a second. In the Dodger bullpen, Josh Wall begins to throw. Coming out on deck to bat for Choate would be Juan Rivera. Oh, and 2. Check swing. They're going to look. No swing, says Tony Randazzo. A.J. hitting .270 as a 6-game hitting streak. Very much back on the beam. One and 2. And strike 3 called. Vic Carapazza. A.J. doesn't want to argue with the plate umpire. Catchers rarely do when they're hitting. He thought the ball was up. Looked up, 1 away. Now Juan Rivera. Rivera did not pinch hit last night. We saw Bobby Abreu and Elian Herrera. Abreu also pinch hit in the first game and hit that monstrous home run to right. So Rivera batting for Choate. That's a strike. 0-1. When the Rockies come up in the 9th inning, it will be the top of the order: Rutledge, Ortega, and Pacheco. In the dirt to the backstop. 1 ball, 1 strike. Torres, after release by the White Sox, pitched in Asia, and then in January of this year signed with the Rockies. Pitched a couple of years for Chicago in 09 and 10. 1-1. In the dirt. 2-1 the count. Carlos Torres 5-3 in his 31st game. Fighting it a little bit. 26 walks, 40 strikeouts. Fewer hits than innings pitched, however. Dodgers had the series of games where they scored 8 runs, 2 against San Diego, and then the other night against the Rockies. But then last night was a much tougher game. They shut out the Rockies 3-0, and right now a very comfortable 7-1 lead. No, Rivera hacking them foul. 2-2 the count. Torres, the fourth Rockies pitcher, and gets it in there for a strike. Bill Rivera walks away empty-handed following A.J. Ellis. So 2 out here in the 8th, and Mark Ellis coming up. So Torres has struck out 2, now trying to get Mark, who has flied to center and flied to left, grounded to third, and popped up to second. Mark batting .258. This is kind of a sleepy time in the afternoon. Dodgers leading 7-1. Crowd has kind of taken the game for granted, but there are still prizes to be given out. That's a strike. 0-2. But it will be different tomorrow night, I guarantee that. The Giants and the Dodgers. The Cardinals will be playing Washington. And tomorrow night, every pitch will be of utmost importance. Line drive, base hit on an 0-2 count. So Mark goes 1 for 5, and that'll bring up Shane Victorino. Victorino 3 for 4. All 3 hits to center field. He has a stolen base, and he has scored twice. On deck would be Matt Kemp. One ball and no strikes. Two and 0. To repeat, when the Rockies come up in the 9th, Rutledge, Ortega, and Pacheco. 35,607. That's a strike. So right now the Dodgers have drawn 3,200,000 with 3 left with the Giants. Two and 1. And that's lifted to the right side. Angling over is LeMahieu. Makes the catch. So we're heading for the 9th inning. No runs, a hit, a man left. Hang in there, Junior. The 9th is coming. It's 7-1 Dodgers. Dodger pitcher. Wall pitched the 9th inning of the first game with the Rockies, so this will be his second appearance in the series. He's been in 6 games. Josh will face Rutledge, followed by Ortega, and then Pacheco. Josh Wall out of Louisiana, Walker, Louisiana. He was a second-round pick by the Dodgers 7 years ago. Basically, fastball, curve, slider, and a changeup. And Josh is a big man, 6'6", 215 pounds, 25 years old. All right, Josh about ready to go to work. Another Josh, Rutledge coming up. He has struck out and doubled, reached on a throwing error charge to Luis Cruz, and flied to right. So one Josh facing another in the 9th inning as the Dodgers try to sweep the Rockies, add to their 4-game winning streak, and win the season series 10-8, and then get ready for the Giants. Rutledge 1 for 4, hitting .286. Strike, 0-1. The only run for the Rockies, the home run by Andrew Brown, but boy, they've had certainly ample opportunities to score. Fly ball, Kemp goes back a few steps, 1 away. Rockies have left 11 men on. In fact, pretty hard to look for an inning where they retired in order, and it was only in the 6th. And yet, with all the flailing away, 1 run. Of course, these are not the mighty Rockies. These are small hills. Rafael Ortega had a good day in his major league debut. Takes a strike. Young fella from Venezuela. Singled in the 1st inning and stole 2nd. Walked, bunted for a base hit in the 5th, and struck out. Josh Wall is pitching before 35,607. The population of Walker, Louisiana is 6,242. Fastball, ground ball, foul. The Rockies, with all those men on base, are 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. But again, those of us who follow it every day are so aware of the fact that this is not the Colorado Rockies team of the present. Maybe the future, but certainly not the present. Not without Gonzalez and Fowler and Tulowitzki and Helton, etc. Another foul ball. 1-2. Rafael Ortega with Jordan Pacheco on deck. And did that hit him? I believe so, on the foot or ankle. Yep. So Ortega hit by a pitch. He's awarded first. So he's come up to the plate 5 times. Got him just below the knee on the shin. Come up to the plate 5 times, and he's reached first base 4 times. And boy, he is hurting. So he hasn't reached first base yet. So with everybody else being hurt, they bring up a kid from Modesto, and he gets banged up in the 9th inning. Jim Tracy, when he was with the Dodgers, agonized over every defeat. I can only imagine how Tracy feels as he watches the young man walk up along first. The year has just disappeared. They're on the edge of losing their 97th game, the losingest team in Colorado history. Still not quite ready with young Rafael Ortega. I don't know if they have anybody but a pitcher to run for him anyway. So that's why they're waiting to see if they can keep him in the game. They just don't have any healthy players. They've already used the number one 100% player. That's Jonathan Herrera. Meanwhile, Mattingly can understand. Not much you can do about injuries. And Ortega will give it his best shot and stay at first base. So Jordan Pacheco, who is 1 for 4, a double coming up. Pacheco flied to center, hit into a double play, struck out and doubled. He didn't just hit into a double play, though. With the bases loaded, 1 out in the third, he hit a shot to the hole on the right side. Mark Ellis made a great stop of the ball and started the DP. Actually took a base hit away from him. 1-1 to Jordan. We're in the ninth, 7-1 Dodgers. Out in front of that. Josh Wall closing it up. Beckett, Rodriguez, Tolleson, Belisario, Wright, Choate, and Wall. Beckett figures to win his second as a Dodger. Went 6 innings and allowed 1 run. Waved at. So Pacheco, who came into this game pretty much of a contact hitter, but he strikes out twice. So 2 down in the 9th inning. And Andrew Brown struck out, homered, popped up, and walked. 1 for 3. In 31 2/3 innings, the Rockies have scored once, and it was Brown's home run. Wall trying to finish him off and finish the game. Foul ball, 0-1. We repeat because it might be maddening for those who are watching every game, every inning. But so many folks come in and out of broadcast. The Cardinals defeated Washington 10-4. They have reduced the so-called magic number to 2. The Dodgers, by winning today, stay alive at least until tomorrow night, where Washington will move on. Cincinnati will replace them in St. Louis. The Rockies move on, and the Dodgers await the arrival of the Giants. And remember, the Giants have beaten the Dodgers this year 9 of 15. Popped in the air, foul ground. Ellis and Gonzalez. Ellis tries, can't do it. So Brown is still there. 1-2 the count. So with everything else they ask of a catcher, they ask him to go run after foul balls like that. You hit, you are hit. Now he has 2 out in the 9th. Check swing. That will be that. So Brown strikes out. Josh Wall winds up striking out 2. Dodgers win going away. They remain 2 back. The Brewers were eliminated today, and the Dodgers are still alive. Not by much. The old story, you might have to put a little mirror to the mouth to see if they're still breathing, but mathematically the number is still 2. The combination of Cardinal victories and/or Dodger defeats. Well, the Cardinals figure to have their hands full. They're going to be playing the Cincinnati Reds. They have split 12 during the year. And the Dodgers will be playing the Giants. Giants have beaten them 9 of 15. And tomorrow night, game 1 of what is a critical series to say the least. It will be Matt Cain and Aaron Harang. Tomorrow, that will be on Prime Ticket. Then Tuesday night will be KCAL 9, and we'll be back on Prime Wednesday afternoon at 4:15. We will go one game at a time as the Dodgers win handily over a Rockies team that has now lost 97 games. That'll do it until tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. We wish you all a very pleasant good afternoon.
All right, Vin, thank you very much.